Okay, hello everybody. How's everybody doing? Good. Okay, that's not exciting. Let's try this again. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny. We had nice little refresh rain. How's everybody doing today? Good. Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of this beautiful festive afternoon with the DYALN Trinity FC. My name is DYALN M. RAFATY, and I'm the founder and CEO of the North Texas Disability Chamber. Thank you guys for coming. I'm so excited to introduce a phenomenal panel, and it's been curated by Trip Neal and the team at DYALN Trinity FC. We actually have a guest who flew in for this special occasion, and so I'm so excited to introduce you to each one of them. First, I'd like to introduce, if you could, wave your hand, SAADIA SHEIKH. I got that right. I got to pronounce it right. SAADIA SHEIKH. She is the founder of Powersense.org, empowering youth with disabilities, specifically in the deaf and hard of hearing community. Thank you, SAADIA, for being here. Give her an applause. We also have John Marquez. He is the champion U.S. men's blind soccer. Thank you for being here, John. We also have KASPAR. She's a gold medalist, goalkeeper for U.S. Deaf Olympics. Pleasure. We have the man of the hour who just came in from D.C., Warren WAWA SNIPE. He's a musician, writer, and performer. And of course, we have Samantha Castillo, and she is the captain of the U.S. Women's Deaf Amputee Soccer. Now, this is our panel. Congratulations, everybody. Here we go. Back to you, SAADIA.
Okay. Well, today's conversation is going to be focused around kind of purpose, inclusion, but also your journey and some inspiration for the world, especially celebrating today's theme, which is celebrating our abilities. But to kick it off, to have a little fun here, and the theme of the game day, here's a game day question. What's a ritual or one thing that you do before your performance or before competing? What's that one thing that you do? We'll start with you, John.
Okay. Well, one of the things we do on the national team, I'm not sure if this is a secret, but there's a certain song we like to listen to on the way to the field, getting us hyped up. So that really helps us, to really just get in the mood and just get hyped up. And really, we did it at our first game going to play against Canada when we first had our inaugural team in Chula Vista, and it was great. So that's kind of stuck with us, and that specific song didn't exactly say let's get down to business. It was a great song, so it just really helps get us in the mood and just pumped up.
Let's get down to business. All right, Sarah.
One thing with the women's deaf national team is before every game and before every practice, we have a almost tradition where we do double this, double that. We circle up as a team, and we do it before and after every practice and every game, and it helps get everybody hyped up, feel connected, feel on the same. Because we can hear each other, so it's nice to see everybody connected in unity, and we can see everybody doing that together.
Okay, and for the audience, what is that? What's double this, that?
So I don't know how best to explain it, but so everybody on the team comes to a circle, and we come up, and usually one of our captains or one of our coaches will come up, and they'll be like, ready, 1, 2, 3, and we all go double this, double that, double this, double that, double this, that. And then everybody come together, we start cheering, we get ready for the practice or the game, just to get everybody hyped up.
That's an awesome ritual. Wawa?
Okay, well, I don't double this, double that. I watch sports, and so before performance and anything that I do, first thing I do is I have to pray. That's the first thing I do, because I want to make sure that I get the right thing. And so I do a lot of practice, and I'll listen to the music, and I'll make sure to keep myself loose and flexible, and I'll jump around and make sure that my mind is set and I'm good. And then when I do that, I know I'm ready to go and ready to play.
Nice. All right, Samantha?
So I guess for the national team, we listen to music, lots of different songs. We have a thing that we do with our crutches and our boots, where we touch our crutches together and we hit our boots together. Some of y'all may have seen me showing boots back downstairs. And then for me personally, I have a special t-shirt that I wear. And for me, I listen to Rod Stewart, so
Nice.
I'm in my headspace and I'm ready to go.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Next up, can you share part of your journey? You know, what kind of shapes who you are? So, again, the you story. We'll start with you, Samantha.
The me story, I don't know. So my middle name is Sunshine, and I tell that to people because it kind of, once I became an amputee, it kind of is what I embody to try to show people that it's not all doom and gloom when you lose a leg. I lost my leg about 4 years ago after lots and lots of failed hip surgeries. It was my choice to take off my leg, so that was a big deal. My you story, I guess, would be with my dogs and my husband. My husband and I are about to celebrate 23 years, and he's my rock. He's my everything, along with God, centered around God and family, and then my 2 dogs.
Love that. Thank you.
Well, for me, I was born deaf. I was deaf from genetics. But growing up, I grew up speaking. I didn't really know sign until I got into college. But that really opened my eyes to deaf culture because growing up, I just spoke all the time. And then being able to find deaf people that were the same as me in college and university that could sign, it was very, very different. And so being able to have the best of both worlds and blending in the hearing and the deaf world. So I'm in entertainment, and that's really fun. I'm a professional actor. I do a whole bunch of different things like music. And so now I just want to be able to bring up the life for people who have disabilities around the world. In the U.S., we do have a lot of talented people that have disabilities in sports and in the entertainment world and technology and just everything in the world. And so being able to see that and see that it's not necessarily a negative thing, and we don't see it enough. So WAWA is one that I've set up a thing to be able to lift it up for us, and then really having a champ time with that now.
Thank you.
So for me, my story is I have progressive hearing loss. So when I was growing up, I didn't have any issues. I had some language and pronunciation issues when I was in about 4th and 5th grade, which led us to get my hearing tested in 6th grade where I got my hearing aids. I got my hearing loss from my dad. It's genetic. And so at the time I only had about like 20 or 30 decibels, enough to have like hearing aids, but not enough to really be like get the benefits of being a certain level of deaf. Faith, who is one of the players on the U.S. staff team, her parents have tracked us down. Me and my friend, we were at a soccer tournament in middle school because she saw I wore hearing aids. And she was so excited. She was telling us all the benefits and everything, and we told her I had progressive hearing loss, and she was just like, well, in a few years, you can come and try out for the team, and you can do all of these like really, really cool things. You just gotta keep working, you just gotta wait for your time. And I tried out for Dallas Surf U19 GA to play with them this past year, and in that tryout I got to actually meet up with that family again, and I got to meet their daughter Elle, and we grew really close. They encouraged me to reach out, telling me like, don't expect anything, the Deaf Olympics is coming up, just put yourself out there, we know you've worked hard. And within the same week, like the next day, I got a reply going back and forth with the team and staff members, and they thought I was ready to come out, and so A couple weeks later, I got my first invitation, and I've been with the team ever since. I've never felt a more connected team, a more like special team. There's no greater team for me. There's no place I would rather be. They've made me understand so much more of who I am. I didn't grow up in a household that taught me what it meant to be deaf and hard of hearing. I live separately from my dad, and so getting to be with them this past June was really eye-opening to me because it got to be like my first community that really understood who I was and how my day-to-day life works. And they showed me so many cool tricks and talked about so many different things. I can't even name them. But I'm so grateful that they gave me the chance. I'm so grateful that they allowed me to continue with the team and to just continue growing and letting me go with them to Tokyo and playing. I couldn't ask for a better opportunity or team.
Woo, thank you. John?
Okay, so I actually didn't go blind until I was 22, and yeah, so that was really late start for me. So it happened all at once. I woke up one day and I was just blind, and so I had to deal with that. And it took me a few years to actually just get comfortable enough to start trying to reach out and figure out things that blind people did. And one of those things was blind sports. And so I got into b-ball, and that's where I met my co-founder, Ricky Castaneda. And so we started playing b-ball together, and then eventually, about a year or two later, he told me about blind soccer. He already was practicing and playing it, and he let me know, okay, we got to get into this. And so we started training and going to national camps together, and eventually, before we even made the first inaugural team, we started our organization, Metro Blaze Blind Athletes of Texas, so that we could have resources here in the DFW area to play blind soccer. And so we started that, and we just been training and trying to do everything we can to promote and get this sport out there. But it's really helped open me up because of it. So without blind sports, I wouldn't know what it'd be. Like, this is what I do now, and so being able to help others the way it's helped me is really great. It's been a long road. It took a long time to get here, but yeah, just a lot of things we had to do. Just trying to figure out how to play the sport and where to go to play it is very difficult. So I'm just glad that I was able to find a community that I was able to be part of to help me out and get these sports and help me grow.
Thank you. Well, you all have amazing and resilient stories. So we want to talk a little bit about growth. So what are some challenges that you face and how have you led through them? Go for it.
One of the biggest challenges for me was my parents are divorced, and so that's part of the reason why I didn't really grow up knowing, why I was deaf. I knew why I was losing my hearing because of genetics and everything. But my mom, my stepdad, my younger sibling, my older sibling, nobody had that connection with me, nobody understood. And so one of the big challenges for me was that I felt very odd. I felt very singled out. I was really worried when I got hearing aids that I was going to get made fun of and bullied and just seen as abnormal because I wore something that nobody else was wearing. And I'm really grateful. Both my mom, stepdad, and biological dad are all very, very supportive. My mom did a ton of research, just kind of understand me better. And that was actually also the same year that COVID hit and we all had to hide in our houses. I was a little grateful for that because it gave me the time to kind of get comfortable with myself, to kind of be, okay, this is who I am. This is going to be who I am. not gonna get better, it's gonna get worse. And so the best thing I can do is connect with the people who are starting to pop up around me, connect with the people who were just like me when I first started out. I'm a lot more comfortable. I love talking about it. I've had moments where I've helped my private goalkeeper coach with some random camp, and I remember it so clearly. There was a girl who was probably around 10 or 12, and she wore hearing aids, and she'd never seen another goalkeeper ever who wore hearing aids. And at that age, I related so much to her because that was me. I was me as a little kid, not knowing anybody else my age who wore something like I did. And so I still have her number, we still text every once in a while, but it's just one of those moments where I realized that one of the reasons that I believe that I inherited that is so I can go through that with the people around me, and then now when I'm comfortable and I'm trying to make a name for myself, that I can be that person that people can reach out to, can ask questions. I get asked all the time, like, what's it's like to be hard of hearing and deaf, and I'm like, the best part is I get Bluetooth. I get Bluetooth whenever I want, and music, and we can hear conversations because they're in my head. I tell everybody when they call me, you're in my head. So, I mean, you imagine how that goes. But I don't like to think of it as like something that is bad or a disability. If anything, I feel like it's more of an opportunity for me to connect with a whole other bunch of people that nobody else really gets to connect with, because we share a common denominator. We are able to understand each other better. So.
Yeah, I understand that, and I relate with that a lot because, as I said, I was born deaf, but again, I didn't learn sign until I went to Gallaudet University. And I mean, I did a lot of sports and participated a lot growing up. I was in martial arts growing up, and so I had Kung Fu, and that was something that I really studied. And so I studied Kung Fu for a really long time, and so I understand that feeling of rejection and the bullying and the growing up and people mocking and oh, you have a third ear. Like, I understand that because, oh, can you hear me better because you have a hearing aid? And so I would take it off and throw it before because people just will rip it off, and so those things happen, and so just learning to overcome that and overcome those confrontations sometimes, it can take a lot. And so participating in sports, sometimes the coaches or the teachers and people would have to gesture more and have to work for communication. We have to make changes, be more visual. And so in martial arts and Kung Fu, there was a lot of visual things that sometimes you don't have to yell out the name of the move. If they yelled it out, I was like, I have no idea what that is because I couldn't hear them. So if they were describing it, I would be able to like code each move, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what we're doing. But now I'm the first black belt, and so when I got it, at the end I started, the teacher and came over to the students, and I'd been doing it for years, and so I worked my way up and being able to do that. And so the dynamics really shifted. And so now it's more visual and it's more accessible. Back then, before I went to school, there was no deaf and there was nobody who had a disability that were involved in that. I was the only one. And so since me, I had the patience of teaching and being able to get more involved. Now we have people who are in wheelchairs, we have people who are blind that can do martial arts. And so now I'm a 9th degree black belt, and so I still practice today. But it's nice to see going through that and how other people experience and being in sports and how that can really have a strong impact on everyone.
I think for me, it's navigating a world that's not made for someone that uses crutches on a daily basis. Being such a high up amputee, I'm what's considered a hip dysartic, which means I don't have a femur down, which is we're like the 1% of amputees. So wearing a prosthetic is very cumbersome. I actually sit in a bucket You have to take the whole thing off just in order for me to use the restroom, which is, I'm sure you females can kind of imagine a public restroom having to take a leg off just to use the restroom, hoping there's a handicap facility available and not somebody scrolling on their phone, which happens a lot. So I've just navigated the world using crutches, and the world's not designed for someone who's a crutch user. If it's wet outside, it's very treacherous coming inside onto a slick floor. I've fallen several times. It's just not a world made for crutches. And when you're a daily crutch user, the world can be very hard to navigate. So for me, that would be it. And then also, I would say dealing with chronic pain. Phantom pain is something that a lot of people don't understand, and I hope you never have to deal with phantom pain, but it's a very unique sensation to feel your limb that's not there, whether it hurts or it itches and there's nothing you can do about it. So having a phantom pain attack in the middle of a crowded restaurant or something is quite exhilarating, I guess. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yes, well, like I said, I grew up sighted, so I was able to see until I was 22. Playing sports, I played multiple sports, baseball, ice hockey, football, track, taekwondo. I did pretty much anything I could. Growing up, I just loved playing sports. It was fun. Football was my big one, so I stuck with that all into high school. And then when I went blind at 22, I really thought, I didn't know any blind people before I went blind, so to me, going blind was catastrophic. I didn't know what to do with my life. I sat around for a couple of years, just not knowing what to do. I didn't want to be blind. I didn't want people to know I was blind, so I would walk around without a cane. There would be times I'd be mad and I would leave my apartment and just go walking around and have to trail sidewalks with my foot because I didn't want to use a cane, because I didn't want people to see me and say, well, he's blind. But I guess walking around trailing things with my foot wasn't much better. People would still see me and still try to ask me, if I needed help and things like that. I would just try to do a lot on my own until I found the blind community, and it really changed a lot because getting to see all these other blind individuals, going to school, going to work, just being very independent on their own, it really opened me up in my eyes, so to speak, so that I got to see, a new light that they showed me. They showed me that life wasn't over, and there still are things to do. You can still live life. Sight isn't everything. And so I started playing sports again blind, and it was great. I played blind baseball, which led me to blind soccer and goal ball and other blind sports. And it's just, like I said, figure of speech, eye-opening to know that it's out there, to not know it was there, and to then see it, and see these guys just show me the way, show me how to be, a productive person again, an active person, to know that, like I said, just, life's not done. And being up here on this panel and hearing all these stories, and further just shows me nothing can stop us. Whatever's in our way, we'll overcome it any way we can. And so there's a lot that we have to do to overcome stuff, but it can be done. And I'm thankful that we are up here to show people that there's a way.
Thank you. Can we get a round of applause for that? Thank you all for sharing your story and your challenges. Let's jump over to some inspiration here. Your leadership. So why don't you talk about the work that you're doing today, maybe kind of what drives you and what you're doing now. Go for it, John.
I guess I'm going to start with that. So, like I said, after I got back into blind sports, I was able to get with a co-founder, a friend of mine, Ricky, and we co-founded Metro Blaze Blind Athletes of Texas, and that's pretty much my life now. I work on my nonprofits, 501c3. I try to get other people, show them the way, show them that sports are there, and there's another way for us to be productive in life. And through these sports, I was able to, become part of the U.S. National Blind Soccer team.
and even further has helped me to just grow and continue to show others that yes, I mean, we're out here doing stuff. So my nonprofit, it's like I said, Metro Blaze Blind Autism Texas. We're actually in the DFW area and in the Houston area. We have groups in both cities, both areas, doing multiple sports, and we're just trying to create awareness. We want people to know that, you know, blind sports are out there. A lot of people don't know that there are blind sports, so we want to make people know that yes, we are here, we are playing, and you know, we're not going away. We're gonna have a great time doing it, and we'd like y'all to come out and check us out. So I mean, we want people to experience what we experience, which is why we're glad that Trinity FC had this event on today. Really great.
So for me, I'm just recently getting with the U.S. Women's Deaf National Team. I started with them this past June, so it's only been a couple of months. We're coming up on that first year, and I'm so excited. I feel like so many things happen in so little time. If you told me I was going to be here talking to you guys like last year, I would have been like, y'all are crazy. Maybe had something strong to drink or something like that. But the opportunities that I'm getting, the amount of people that are learning ASL that come up to me in church and they want to go back and forth because they're so excited and they want to show me what they learned in class this week. The amount of athletes that I get, and most of them, it amazes me that there's so many young athletes out there who are completely deaf or hard of hearing that think they're the only one. And I relate so much because I always thought I was the one person in the whole planet at that age that wore hearing aids, and it's not. There's so many people out there that just don't have someone to connect to. And the little girl I was talking about at that camp who'd never seen someone with hearing aids before. And so I'm just so blessed that I can, you know, start with the team, do events like this where hopefully I can start something myself one day. Actually, this coming up weekend, I'm working in Texas, Imagination, Texas. And it's an event for high schoolers of deaf and hard of hearing all over Texas, and they come and we're doing Hogwarts things, so I know we're gonna have a couple of nerds there, but there's like different sections and we're all going to kind of tell them our story and just have fun with the kids, and it's a way for everybody to just come and be in one building, same age, having similarities and differences. And just getting to enjoy ourselves. And so that's one of the events that I'm looking forward to. I've been looking forward to it for a couple of weeks. I know we have the next camp for the U.S. Women's Deaf Team coming up. We have a new facility that U.S. Soccer has made for us in Georgia that is an all-inclusive one for the CP, for the blind, for the beach volleyball, beach soccer, not volleyball, but beach soccer, for the deaf teams, and so I'm really, really excited about, you know, how much we're growing as a sport, how much awareness we're slowly starting to get, and it's just accumulating, and it's growing. We're getting so much bigger, and this team has worked so hard for the last 10 years. We just had our coach retire, and so it's a big moment of change for us. And I'm just so excited to see what our next steps are going to be, because I know they put us on a pedestal. They've worked their butts off to get us here. And as a newcomer, seeing that level of inspiration from my seniors and my veterans and my coaches just tells me that if I have a dream, like, let's start it right now, because whether it's in 2 weeks, whether it's 15 years away, something big is going to happen, and I want to be able to share that with everybody else. So.
Well, for me, I've had an interesting journey. I'm involved in TV shows, I've been an actor. I was in the Super Bowl twice now. So I've done the national anthem, and then I've also done for the halftime performance. And so that to me was a very rich experience because it showed over the years there was training and practices and performing and doing different events. And it gave me the opportunities to be able to do the Super Bowl twice, and that was such an honor. I've been involved in theater, and I was on Fear of the Walking Dead, and so I've had many different TV shows and different things that I've been involved, and that's really inspired me. And during all of that, at the same time, I've also seen many deaf and hard of hearing or other disabilities that are in the entertainment field that don't really get the spotlight on them, or they don't earn that, they don't get what they've earned. And so there have been many people that I've seen that haven't gotten that. And so I've done a co-founding of a company called WAWA. I'm so sorry, the interpreter is understanding. So it's Wawabilities, for like Wawa possibilities, but Wawabilities. And so this is what we sign, it's like the rainbow with abilities out. And so in the entertainment world, I've been able to put the spotlight on different actors, different artists, different musicians, and being able to spotlight those that have different disabilities and raise them up so that way we just had that first event in Washington, D.C. and we had about 3,000 people there, and there were so many that we got to see in celebrating the 35th anniversary of the disability laws for ADA. And so being able to see that, so next year in 2027, I hope to see y'all all there. We want more coming and more partnering with us to be able to provide accessibility, because really that's something we need is that now.
So for me, I've started writing a book to kind of talk about my journey dealing with chronic pain and having a successful marriage, which is quite rare for a lot of people. So I've started writing that. I also work within the soccer community. I work with Dallas Trinity as what's called a red hat, which is the person that actually kicks off the game. For FC Dallas, I'm field timing, so I help get the players out of the locker room. And I do all that so that I hope that people that are in the stands see me walk out of the tunnel with FC Dallas and go, wait, there's somebody on crutches that's doing something that big? Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know somebody could do that. And I'm hoping that they kind of see that an amputee is living their life. They're not, just sitting around. The USOF, which is our kind of Dallas area amputee soccer group, I'm starting to coach with them, and I'd like to actually one day coach the U.S. amputee team, the women's team. So that's what I do.
That's amazing. It seems like the common theme is representation, and you all are representing in many areas of your life by what you're doing. We are gonna now do a quick power round. So question, quick answer, a word, a sentence. And this is truly to help empower everybody here in this room and each one of us as we leave here to go enjoy the game and put some of this awareness to action. So, lightning round. What does true inclusion mean to you in a word or sentence? Whoever wants to.
Everybody.
Empowerment.
Accessibility. Ease of accessibility, I should say.
I already said that. I said empowerment.
That's okay. I love what you said, John. Everybody. All right, Sierra, you got something in there.
Can you repeat the question?
What does inclusion mean to you? Like in a word, a sentence. How have you felt included? What should everyone know?
Trying to be short, I feel like it's just a family.
Family.
Easy.
Okay, last up.
Can I
What's
say
one
Can I
thing?
say one thing?
Oh, sorry.
I think maybe we should have a question for them to see what does accessibility look like for the audience.
Yeah, I
So
like
y'all
that.
can think about
I like
that.
that.
What does that look like?
Okay, so repeat that question for the audience, and we're going to ask some people to chime in.
Okay, so the question is, what do you think total access and inclusion looks like to you?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm stealing this from the Microsoft Accessibility Officer. She's the Chief Accessibility Officer for Microsoft. And she says a place where everyone can work, play, and shop. And so they make sure that there's accessibility testers testing all their hardware and software so that everyone can work, play, and shop. So that's what accessibility or inclusion means to me.
Hoping more for the shopping.
Right?
Anyone else? All right, well, okay, last question is, one sentence or word, what's one thing you want this room to remember as we leave today?
We've all got power. Everybody has power. Everybody has power, and they just have to find it and use it.
From the word of Nelson Mandela, impossibility. It's impossible until it's done, is what I would say.
I don't know.
I think you're never alone. There's always someone going through the same thing or worse. Just because you can't find them doesn't mean you're not there. And just because you're going through something really hard doesn't mean that you're alone in what you're doing.
Maybe be kind to everybody, because you don't know what they're going through.
It's amazing. Okay, one last thing, and then Dylan's gonna close us out, and I'm putting Trip Neal on the spot. Trip is part of the team. Come up here, Trip. So, Trip, why don't you share with everyone, really quickly, your story and why we're doing Celebrate Our Abilities at Dallas Trinity.
Thanks, SAADIA. Yeah, I'm Trip. I'm part of the Neal family. I'm proud to represent Dallas Trinity FC and really honored to have a disability Celebrate Our Abilities theme here today, and appreciate every one of you coming out. My story is I became deaf when I was 1.5 years old. Was embedded in that community until about kindergarten, then went mainstream, and didn't really get a chance to reconnect with the deaf community until I found out about the deaf men's national soccer team when I was in college. So that was just such a world opener for me to go back into that community, appreciate where I came from, and connect and try to build something special together. And so very proud of the work that I've done with a lot of Sierra's teammates to get the deaf men's and women's national teams into the U.S. soccer umbrella. Really proud of the work we started to do here at Dallas Trinity FC. Last year we did a disability clinic in the morning. Now we wanted to kind of incorporate the game and panel into it. So just continue to build and grow together. And we've got a lot of great partners that have been a part of this as well. So thank you to each and every one of you who have either been amplifying our voice, providing pizza like Lizana did, coming out and volunteering your time to set up the clinic and recruit people from the disability world to come out and experience something that we don't all get to do every day. So thank you guys.